Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Friday, the end of the week, time to open the cold brewski with the friends. I wanna share a video with you. I'm gonna go to my safe and warm home, spend it with my wife, the holiday season. I'm guessing you are gonna spend it with your family, and I just wanna show you this video from Kyiv. This is a Ukrainian toddler eating his breakfast, with the other hand holding a flashlight because the Russian terrorists have bombarded everything that is able to produce any electricity. No heat, no lighting, but he still has to go to kindergarten, he still has to live. So at a very early age, this toddler already knows what to do, where to go when there's an attack, and how to eat his morning porridge or cereal. You just gotta have the flashlight. So I just wanna bring that out for me and you to have that perspective and know what's good in life. Warm home, family, and no drones up in the air. We can be thankful for it. You wanna be thankful for it and appreciate the Ukrainians. Well, art wine is the way to do that. It supports Ukrainian winemakers because this wine directly comes from Bakhmut cellars right before they were taken by Prigozhin's goons. So link is in the description below. Treat yourself to a nice Ukrainian rosé from Bakhmut. Art wine in the description, my friends. But now, a Christmas delivery for you, because we go to Belgorod, 50 kilometers from the state border, Ukrainian-Russian state border in Belgorod. Two Russian S-400 launchers are driving on the road like there's no tomorrow, having fun, enjoying the Russian weather, when suddenly, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a Ukrainian drone. Bada boom! First one connects to the first S-400 launcher, and if you think that's it, well, it's not. There's another one connecting to the second S-400 launchers. These two bada booms cost Russia so much. I mean, we all know the export price of the S-400 battery. It's over $1 billion. Yes, you heard that correctly. Here's two S-400 launchers. Now a battery and a launcher, two different things. But here's two launchers getting knocked out cold, put to sleep with the fishes by Ukrainian drones. I'm guessing these drones cost, what, maximum 10,000. So the return on investment, if you're any kind of businessman, you can do that math for me in the comments, please. What is the return on investment? Let's say these two launchers altogether cost, let's put it in the ballpark, 500 million. Those two Ukrainian drones cost 10,000 each, 20k. What's the return on investment when 20k eliminates $500 million? Let me know in the comments, my friends, and happy holidays. Hey, I'm not done with showing you how much the Ukrainians have destroyed the Russian equipment. Let's go to Crimea, and more specifically the Belbek Airbase, because Ukrainian SBU, they are notorious, with the Hur of course also they work together, they are notorious for eliminating anything Russia brings to Crimea. We're talking air defense, radars, anti-air defense systems, helicopters and fighter jets. Anything they bring, and they do bring time and time again to the same locations, Ukrainians eliminate. So the latest attack on Belbek Airbase, check it out. Two long-range radar detection systems nearby SVU. One radar station 92 and 6, which is part of the S-400 Triumph air defense system. One Panzer-S air defense system. One fully armed MiG-31 aircraft. The destroyed Russian hardware amounts to over $200 million destroyed. However, far worse is that they cannot be replaced in short time, especially the radar systems. Check it out. All of these destructions have drone videos of them. These images here come from the drone videos. I remember covering some of them. These happened over a certain period of time, last month. And I remember watching this specific one of connecting into a MiG fighter plane, and it's beautiful. You see it parked on the runway, on the ground, just like that, in the same locations where Ukrainians have destroyed countless times previously Russian radars. It was destroyed, and Ivan is thinking, it got destroyed. Maybe if we bring new one, it will not be destroyed. And they bring new one, and it gets destroyed. I cannot fit it into my head why they do it time and time again. Please correct me here, who said it, that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's what the Russians are doing with their Crimean air bases. They're bringing in radars, anti-air defense systems, even fighter jets. And they get destroyed. No surprise there. Now, my friends, I would like to introduce you to Russian zombies. Have you ever seen Russian zombies? You definitely have seen the Western zombies, because if you watch The Walking Dead or any zombie movie, that's the Western zombies. Here are the Russian zombies, and they're very real, they're not made up. Look at that dude, walking around like a true zombie. Very true to character. They found a puddle, of course they need to drink that muddy water, because they want to get all that bacteria and the corpses that have decayed into that water. They want to get that inside because it's the holiday season. You gotta get some festivities going on in your stomach, you know. So these zombies, of course, they're gonna fill up their bottles in that muddy puddle where their comrades have decayed into. Yay! Happy holidays, my friends. What this video tells us, first of all, is that Russian logistics is not doing great. If they cannot give water to their frontline units, I don't think they even have an interest to do that, because these guys, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves, you might already know, they are part of the lowest hierarchy of units in the Russian military, which is the meat assaulters, Storm Z, or whatever you want to call them. They are usually given no food, no water, and 1 to 2 magazines. They are there to soak up the Ukrainian ammunition, drones, mortar fire. They manage to survive, so they need water, so they will zombie walk themselves to the closest puddle, drink it. As you can see, the move is very similar to what they do in the Russian city. When they go back, they drink vodka like that, and they will get the shites, if you know what I mean. Now, my friends, let's travel to Pokrovsk. We get to Kupyansk also, which is a massive success for the Ukrainian army. Pokrovsk is a more difficult situation, but it is not controlled by the Russians, like the Russians claim it is, like they claimed Kupyansk was. It was all a lie, and it has been proved because Zelensky was in Kupyansk, and now Ukrainians control 90% of Kupyansk. So, Pokrovsk. I want to bring out to you how much manpower Russia is actually losing in Pokrovsk. It's much more than you would think. 790 Russian soldiers from a single unit have died at Pokrovsk. This is only one unit, according to a Russian combat medic, with another 900 having deserted according to leaked figures. Another soldier from the same unit says that losses are running at 80 to 90%. Pokrovsk is a meat grinder. You could compare it to the Battle of the Somme or other similar battles that grinded for months over a year in the First World War, where hundreds of thousands of men were thrown to take 100 meters, 200 meters, or a forest strip. That is Pokrovsk. It's a meat grinder. The unnamed medic says that she is serving with the 39th Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade, military unit 35390 at Pokrovsk. She describes how she was on the front line with young guys aged 19 or 20. And I quote now, "They were running around and we had dugouts, I think. And I say, no, F that. They ran, in short, into a Ukrainian minefield, and it just tore them apart. Well, it's not like they were 200 dead. None of them died. Well, they were just blown up really badly. We had to run the medics to pull them out. One had his heel torn off, other was effed up, another came in with his shoulder through his arm. They sent us 2 young effing snipers. They only spent a effing day with us in the dugout. Then bam! We went to the front line. Evacuating is a complete failure. We're effing running. I say, where are the effing snipers? There are no effing snipers. They ran away. There always was this kind of shite going on there. They effing get effed up. I cannot say the word, but there's so much of this word. They run who knows where. Then you have to drag them out and take them away. Look, I have these lists. I have 48 pages. These are dead. These are ours. In total, if you count 790 people. Now, I don't know how big is that unit. Obviously, it's bigger than a battalion or battalion tactical group, because that is about, what, 900. And we're already talking about 790 dead and 900 missing. So it has to be a lot bigger unit. But as you could see, the casualty rates of some Russian units in Pokrovsk is 80 to 90%. And again, here we're talking about the lowest hierarchy units, which are the storm assaulters, which are just there to assault, soak up and waste Ukrainian ammunition, so the VDV or whoever connects after them, armored units, can follow up when the Ukrainians are reloading or changing positions or rotating. So yeah, the assaulters take 80 to 90% casualties. This is nuts. This is First World War numbers. And why I'm only talking, let's watch a video. I mean, I'm already describing it to you now, but I just show you one of the videos, and this happens daily in Pokrovsk, especially when there is fog. Russians push in a lot of manpower. This specific video does not have fog, so you can already tell it's a smaller kind of an attack. But there's a convoy of, I'm guessing this is Chinese buggies, the Desert Cross, or whichever buggies these are. They're not armored. There's a lot of people, you can already see this is a road leading into Pokrovsk. A lot of people already on this road. And first hits from the Ukrainians, second hits. And the guys are now going to the forest strips right next to the vehicles. The vehicles are getting shot up. And the guys, I'm gonna tell you, they are not getting anywhere. But the interesting thing here, you can see the projectile flying into the frame from the side. So we can guess that this is either Ukrainian anti-tank Stugna, or this is a Ukrainian tank shooting up this convoy. It's definitely not a drone and definitely not artillery, which means there are Ukrainian positions 1 to 2 clicks away. I mean, further than that you would not be using this kind of projectile. So yeah, the Ukrainians have a direct line of sight to this unarmored convoy of Russians, which I count like 20 to 30 unarmored infantry assault. And they shoot it up with tanks. 1, 2, another way, another time, 3, 4. And they shoot it up, bam, 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 very methodically. Every vehicle right now is burning already. And the men have connected to these 3 lines and they will be taken out. Right now tanks are connecting, but then drones will follow. See, this projectile came from above. You could see it didn't come from the side, it came from above like that, indicating this. I honestly don't know what it is, because artillery, you cannot see it like that. I mean, it has a, I don't know what it is, I'm sorry for that, but it makes a hell of an explosion. This convoy was blown to bits within hours, and we're talking 30 KIAs on the Russian side, and that's only one day. This happens every day, sometimes multiple times a day. It just gives you perspective of these numbers, 80 to 90% casualties as I'm talking about. You just need to see it with your own eyes to actually get the perspective what is happening here. Pokrovsk is a meat grinder, and it's bleeding the Russians dry. As the French said, we're gonna bleed the Germans white in the First World War. I'm gonna continue on battle videos. In this next one, we're gonna see the Ukrainians' 8th SSO Regiment, and they engaged the Russian forces. I just wanna show you their professionality and gear a little bit. They were just connected, firefight started, somebody shot at them. The guy just simply shot back, didn't even almost react, didn't run anywhere. Look at their camo. In the Ukrainian and both in the Russian army, you got this kind of camo, you are already special forces. Regular forces don't wear this kind of camo. They're moving slowly, moving steadily, no panic, they know exactly what they're doing. Single shots, extreme professionalism here. They found a Russian dugout or a defensive position. There is gear here like generators, food, ammunition. You can see the silencer on, connected to this guy's weapon. Somebody's still shooting at them. And so they're methodically, slowly, without any panic, moving through these positions. If somebody shoots, they shoot back and move to them and eliminate them. This is what happened here also. If I fast forward, they took out one Russian fighter, the rest of them fled the position. So now let's jump back to the front lines. Kupyansk. We talked about Pokrovsk, but now Kupyansk. This is what the map looks like. There are about 200 Russian fighters hiding in the city still. They are surrounded, much like in Dobropilya. There are here also 3 pockets of Russian troops, up to 200 of them. Now this is a massive success for the Ukrainian army, because over a month ago you all know the story of how Gerasimov claimed, and also the defense minister Belousov, they both claimed that Kupyansk was taken, occupied, cleared of Ukrainian fighters. They claimed it over a month ago. Let's watch the video. Why take my word for it? Check it out. Disruption of civilians, peaceful lives. The Western military grouping has taken control of the strategically important city of Kupyansk. This is said by Russian Defense Minister Belousov, the highest of the high in the Russian military, to Putin, which the enemy has been unsuccessfully trying to recapture. It was a key supply route for the units in the special military operation zone. This will help extend security zones in the Kharkiv region and reduce the threats of enemy shelling of the northern districts of the Luhansk People's Republic. At present they are being eliminated. So this defense minister of the Russian military, the Ministry of Defense, the room is filled with officers. There is Gerasimov present, which is chief of staff, and there is Putin present, which is like everything, right? Who makes the decisions? And he's lying like that. How expensive will that be? Because they will now issue orders on the information that they control Kupyansk. They don't. The orders are to move forward from Kupyansk. Attack, attack, attack. We have the momentum. They don't, because Kupyansk, Russian soldiers are surrounded in Kupyansk. It is so bad. But how were the Ukrainians managed to pull this off? This is not just some localized counteroffensive. This is over almost 2 months going on, multiple axes attack operation. Check it out. Here's what happened. Ukrainian F-16s and MiG-29s cut off Russian reinforcements by destroying bridges and supply lines near the Oskil River. Now I remember this in November, seeing these smaller bridges being exploded by Ukrainian glide bombs, and I couldn't connect it why they're doing it back then. These bridges had not been destroyed for 3 years. Why now? I was asking that from myself. Now we get the full picture. Ground teams then closed the corridor near Dvorichna, captured or eliminated Russian soldiers and dismantled command points. Russia tried striking the Becheniki Dam to stop Ukraine, but the resulting floods isolated their own troops instead. Now again, I remember Russians hitting that dam. I reported on it. I didn't understand again why it happened now, because this dam was there close to the front line with the biggest reservoir of water behind it for the last 3 years, and the Russians did not strike it. Why did they strike it now? Now we get the picture. They panicked and wanted to flood the entire area to stop the Ukrainians from doing their counter-offensive operation. Desperate Russian units attempted to build log bridges across the swamps. Ukrainian drones wiped them out in minutes. With Kupyansk fully encircled, Ukrainian assault groups liberated over 40 square kilometers. President Zelensky visited the city's outskirts, just 500 meters from where Putin claimed full control and awarded frontline troops. Now this is especially important because for the last 2 months, this disgusting peace process between Donald Trump and Putin is going on. And Donald Trump, for some reason, again, that I cannot fit in my head, is taking his information from the Russians who claim that Kupyansk is theirs. Zelensky was in Kupyansk. He was right there. Kupyansk is Ukrainian, it has been liberated by the Ukrainians, they control the urbanized area, and now Trump is pushing Ukraine to the unjust peace by claiming that if you don't do it now, Russians will overrun you. But the opposite is true. Ukraine just proved it. They will overrun the Russians in Kupyansk area. Please get this information to Donald Trump, because for some reason he still believes the Russian sources, which flat out lie to him and to everybody, to their own officers, Gerasimov lies to Putin, Belousov lies to Putin, Putin lies to the public, and the officers from down below lie to the higher-ups. It's crazy. And I just want to show you this small clip of Ukrainian Chief of Staff, General Syrsky. And why it's connected to Zelensky being in Kupyansk is because Ukrainians have shown time and time again that they lead by example. Zelensky was in Bakhmut when Bakhmut was besieged. He visited Avdiivka. Now he visited Kupyansk. I mean, it's 1 kilometer from the nearest Russian position. He shows that his life to him is not as precious as the truth. And here I bring you General Syrsky, the leader of the Ukrainian armed forces, being very close to the front lines with the troops, visiting the positions, overlooking the situation, getting the situation from the ground. This is leading by an example, and I never saw Putin doing this. I never saw Belousov doing this, not Gerasimov, nobody. The closest they've been to the front is, 50 kilometers maybe, at some underground dugout in a bunker. This is front lines straight to the heat of this. We saw Zelensky doing it. We see Syrsky doing it. Leading by an example, giving us another indication of that they are fighting for their survival, and none of these men value their lives more than the survival of Ukraine. Talking about the truth that Donald Trump needs to hear, and especially European country leaders need to hear, Central and Southern European country leaders need to hear, I bring to you Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, and I'll let him speak for himself.
Now we have a simple choice. Either money today or blood tomorrow.
Money today or blood tomorrow. Whose blood? Our blood. It's not going to be Ukrainian blood like it is now. It is our sons who will go to fight Russians. We're talking Germany, Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, every country which will send their men to fight, and they will send their men to fight when Russia attacks, because it's NATO. It will be our sons and our people who will die because of Russian drones if we don't send money today.
And I am not talking about Ukraine only, I am talking about Europe. And this is our decision to make, and only ours. I think all European leaders have to finally rise to this occasion.
I do agree. 100% agree. We will, in Estonia, we will definitely have to pay that price. If any kind of aggression goes on against Finland, the Baltics or Poland, we will be right in the thick of it. See, we are the same front for the Russians, and for NATO also, we are the same front. We are the Finnish, the Baltics and Poland is all one front. The NATO's eastern border, European Union's eastern border. So if anything happens, it will be me. I'm listed. I'm the first to go. So I can speak from the knowing that I will have to go and perhaps die under a Russian drone. So I can tell what I'm telling. Please wake up, Europe. Please wake up. And now the final video before Christmas, my friends. I want to end this video with a positive note. I will bring to you a Ukrainian drone pilot who got a surprising friend at the front. A local kitty cat found the drone pilot. You're my helper? Yes? Pretty boy. Come on, hands free. You know, animals also, they're social. They want human presence, especially when you're a cat and you're used to it. Some cats not, but this one definitely once, is purring. This cat really enjoys that drone pilots. You know why? Because perhaps this drone pilot is increasing the number of manure on the Ukrainian fields by destroying the occupiers. This cat knows it. This cat is on our side. Look at him go. Such a cute kitty cat. This was it, my friends. I will be back for you 29th of December. Before that, maybe one more video, who knows, maybe next Monday it comes out. Maybe it will be a surprise for you. But Christmas is coming up, and you can celebrate it with the Ukrainians with Ukrainian wine from Bakhmut. Artur wine, my friends. My friends, after Ukraine wins the war, most things can be rebuilt. But there are things that are gone forever. Let me guide you through a piece of Ukraine's history that is now lost.
Hidden 236 feet beneath the ancient ground of Bakhmut hides a secret. The world's deepest wine cellar. This was the birthplace of art wine, crafted using techniques passed down through generations. Art wine is not just a sparkling wine. It's a rare piece of history. On 24th of February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and for a whole year, brave Ukrainian troops defended Bakhmut in the bloodiest battles of the entire war. But in March 2023, Prigozhin with his Wagner group entered the city. The home of art wine fell into the hands of the invaders. Wagner forces did not hide their presence. You can see the officer not believing his eyes. What a treasure they just stumbled upon. Art wine sparkling wine ages for years, and throughout that process, classical music was playing. To the amazement of the occupiers, it was still playing by the time they set their foot into those cellars. You can hear it for yourself. Listen. Not long after that, the leader of the Wagner group, Prigozhin himself, strolls around the cellars admiring the riches of the Ukrainian culture. Prigozhin, in the midst of stealing the bottles, decided to mock the Ukrainian women on Women's Day and wrote a greeting on one of the boxes while his crew was loading the sparkling wine to be taken away. It seemed as if this piece of Ukraine was lost. But it was not so. Just before the city fell, the bravest of men, risking their lives, smuggled out some bottles and they were sent to the US. These last bottles from the cellars of Bakhmut carry the bravery and resilience of the Ukrainian troops who defended the city, some to the very end. Today, in 2025, Ukraine is holding, innovating, creating their own missiles and hitting Russia back. This innovation shows in the Flamingo missile, pink, like the Brut Rosé sparkling wine from art wine. While the Flamingo destroys Russian oil refineries, these last art wine bottles wait for someone who cherishes their story. This is you. You have seen the suffering and resilience of Ukrainian people, so it is only right that you get the chance to own this piece of Ukrainian history, the last of its kind, a sparkling wine that will never exist again. I am working together with Art Wine to get you these last bottles, and only you can get the Rehi Flamingo Special Edition. There is even a flamingo sticker on the bottle for you. There is no better gift than this Flamingo sparkling wine. With it, you gift a piece of Ukrainian history and resolve. If you are looking for a meaning in a gift, well, here it is. This is the gift to someone you love. Get these very last bottles from Bakhmut at shop.artwine.com/products/flamingo. For now, these bottles cannot leave the safety of the United States, so only US orders are accepted. A once-in-a-lifetime chance to own or gift a piece of history that will never be made again. Slava Ukraini, my friends.